Hello, Free Spirit. First of all, I'd like to thank you very much for supporting me and my channel by booking this reading for yourself to answer a question that you have. And I also want to thank you very much for allowing me to share it on my channel so that maybe there's something in here that resonates with somebody else that's viewing it that will help them move forward. Now, your question was, you wanted to know if you were on the right path as far as this new love relationship goes. I used the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck, and the cards that came out are, the first card is number 16, and it's the Stars. The second card is the Anchor, number 35. The third card is Labyrinth, number 43. The fourth card is the bottom of the deck. So this would be your overall energy around this answer, and that's number 34. So we're going to start with the Stars card. And the Stars card speaks of having, being in a situation that it's a fixed course or something that's fated. The stars are indicating the need, though, for vision and a desire for wish fulfillment. Now, the other thing that this card represents, which will make you very happy, I'm sure, is that it portends success and much promise, and thinking and believing that you've made a decision, you've moved in a direction that you will be thanking your lucky stars. Because with that card, it's not quite the same as the star card in regular tarot, but I mean, it is. It also represents a little bit of healing and inspiration and a path, a new path for you to explore. So I don't know how long the two of you have been together, but again, it's about wishing upon a star, right? So it's definitely about good prospects. Now, the Anchor card, I want you to notice that the Anchor card and the Fish card, which is right below it, have fish in them. The Anchor card has two fish, one on either side of the anchor. They're a little harder to see than the Fish card, but the fish represent prosperity. So you have two cards right there that represent prosperity and abundance. The Star card also represents good luck, abundance, thanking your lucky stars. Something is happening or has happened that is taking you to a place that you are going to be so incredibly grateful for being there that it's going to be unbelievable for you. Now, the Labyrinth card, which is the third card that came out, this one is not as wonderful as the other cards, but it's not really a bad card either. What it represents is possibly that you have a feeling that, well, what I'm getting off that card is that there's a lot of trouble in the relationship. Maybe it started out great, but now it seems to be that, there's arguing, there's disagreements. Maybe your partner wants to go one way and you want to go the other. It just feels unsettled, and it feels suddenly like maybe it's not as right as you thought it was. This is, how do I put this? This is just the way this relationship is going to go. It's not telling you that it's a bad relationship. It's also not telling you that it's not the right relationship. What it's telling you is there's a lot of twists and turns, and it makes me feel like there's a lot of life lessons being learned here on both parts. So the two of you as soulmates are helping each other to grow and ascend, and that's where the difficulties come in. There's going to be also a lot of confusion and a lot of trial and error in this relationship. It feels like the two of you are moving forward on this path blind. It's like the blind leading the blind. But the thing about that is that you do have each other. You can't see where you're going. You have no idea where you're going to end up. But you've got each other. You can hold each other's hand and at least feel the comfort in that while you try to make your way through this so-called labyrinth relationship. The other message with this card here is that there are no shortcuts to success. This is not going to be an easy relationship. You are going to eventually get to that place that you want to be in, but it's not going to be easy. You're going to take a few false turns. You're going to end up at dead ends. You're going to think this isn't the way you're supposed to go. You might be retracing steps. You might have to take a different route. But that doesn't mean a different route with a different person. It's just, there's no direct path for the two of you. It's going to be like a labyrinth. And if you've ever been in a maze, because that's what a labyrinth is. If you've ever been in a maze, that's where the two of you are. But like I said, you're together on this path in the maze. Your partner, I shouldn't say he, your partner isn't at a different location in the maze than you are. The two of you are in this maze together. And that's why I said you're moving blindly forward, but you're moving and you've got each other. And that's a big thing. That's a really big thing. So just like a maze, you're going to hit dead ends and think, now what? Turn around. Go down the different path. Move in a little bit of a different direction. You'll find another opening. You'll get a little further, but it's not going to be easy. So, if that's what you're looking for, this is going to be a little confusing, and it might even be disheartening at times. Trust that it is the right path. This is, if you remember, we already talked about this, it's preordained. This is a fated relationship. Now, is it going to be one that lasts till the end of your life or the end of his life? That I can't tell you because they didn't give me that information. But it's definitely the right path for you right now. And it doesn't matter how much you plan and strategize. It's not about that. It's not about a lack of planning or strategy. It's just you're in this maze. And this is how it's meant to be. And this is where the life lessons are likely to occur, because now you get to a dead end and you have to figure out what do I do now? What do we do now? How do we get past this? How do we continue to move forward? We're at an impasse here. Well, you're going to have to go back a little bit and take a little bit of a different direction. And that'll move you forward a little bit more until you reach another dead end. Or you realize that you took the wrong turn back there. It's not going to be easy. It feels like something really beautiful to me, but there's a lot of work here. There's no shortcuts. You can't, in the picture, they're in a hedge labyrinth. So if they had a hedge trimmer, they could just cut through the hedge and keep going to the center. You're not going to have those kinds of tools. Okay? You're learning how to live your life and how to move forward with this person as you move forward. So, big life lessons with this person. It's really important while you're on this path with this partner to keep an open mind, both of you. Keep an open mind, because a narrow viewpoint, it's going to stop you from seeing the bigger picture, and that's really important on this path. You need to be able to see the bigger picture. Know what your destination is. Know what the two of you really want to achieve in this relationship. And then keep that in your head. That's your bigger picture. Something else that's really important, if you notice in the Labyrinth card, it's not just one person. It's not just two people. You're not alone. Remember that. You're not alone. You have each other. You might not be able to see where you're going. You might have no clue which direction to take or which turn to take, but you are together and you can support each other, and you need to support each other moving forward, because the worst thing you can do is tire of this path with this partner and push them aside. That's not going to get you through to your outcome or your goal. That's going to block you. The two of you need to move on this path together and have each other's back. You may also be finding that this is frustrating because as much as you want to keep moving forward and don't feel like you can, and that's not always, it's just, when you come up against that dead end, something isn't allowing you to be with people. You're being kept from others, which is, it's kind of strange for me because in one breath you're being told that you're not alone. There are, you've got each other, but there are others on this same path that are trying to make it to their goals and their outcome as well. And they could be of help, but for some reason you're being kept separate from those people. But don't turn your back on others. Don't turn your back on each other for sure, okay? Try to, when calculating your next move, try to think of group solutions rather than individual solutions. That's going to help you move forward. That's also going to kind of give you that openness to receiving guidance to move toward your goal, your bigger picture. That's you're looking at this from a place of the collective, okay? Moving on to number 34, the fish card. This card is all about plenty and abundance. So this is what you're moving toward because this is the overall energy of this answer for you. It represents independence, self-reliance, and trade. You also don't want to overdo things. And I'm going to give you an example. If you want to have a glass of wine, that's fine. Just draw the line between having that one glass of wine and the enjoyment that comes from it and drinking the whole damn bottle. You know what I mean? Because it's about keeping a balance here. You want to keep the balance. Don't tip the scales. You want to keep everything balanced. These fish in this deck symbolize resources and money. Now, the three fish in this card, they are making you aware that you can dive deep to gather what you need and to gain the abundance that you're looking for, okay? This card also can represent wealth. A big message here for me with this card is that it's teaching you the life lessons here with this labyrinth. What you're being taught here is make the most of what you've got, right? In other words, make a little go a long way. So if you're struggling financially right now, know that that is coming to an end. But it doesn't feel to me like it's going to be one large lump sum of money. It feels like this is part of your path, your labyrinth, your maze that you're in. You're going to go down one path and maybe you hit something that's going to bring you extra money. And you think, oh, right, we're finally done with this. And then you reach a dead end. And you have to turn and go back and take a different path. And now you're spending that money to, buy groceries, gas in your vehicle, whatever it is, and it's starting to deplete. This is part of this path. It's part of your lessons. It's part of your growth, okay? When you're making a little go a long way, you're learning something about finances. I feel like one or both of you have had a lot of financial difficulty in your life. You are coming out of that. But like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be one lump sum of money. You could have several smaller lump sums show up, but you're going to know when you're stepping out of that financial difficulty or strife, because when the money does start coming in, it's going to come in how do I want to put this? Lump sums, but not large lump sums. So, and it's going to be unexpected. money that you're not expecting. So you could be going through a really difficult financial time and thinking, oh man, we're not going to make it out of this. And then all of a sudden, you get a check, maybe, I don't know, from the government that you weren't expecting, and it has to do with your income tax. And, whoop, there it is. And maybe it just happens to be enough to pay what you needed to pay, what you were worried about. And then after that, something else comes up, and something else, and something else. And that's how you know that you are definitely moving out of these financial difficulties. But once you start, you're not going to stop. You're going to make it to that place of full-on prosperity, possibly even wealth. But that's why you have to learn to make do with what you have. Because when you have that large amount of money, when you start filling up a savings account again, we tend sometimes, when we've lived in that place of not having enough to make ends meet, never mind, the extra things. Maybe you're trimming your own hair now because, I can't justify spending the last $20 I've got on a trim. When the money starts coming in, you get that feeling of ease and peace and, oh, now I can go get my hair trimmed professionally and I can do this and I can do that. Go easy, because this is a lesson about how to handle your money and how to respect money. When you have the right energy around money, you will have it. If you don't have the right energy, meaning you just blow it as it comes in, that's not respecting the money, and that is not the right energy. You're being asked here to learn how to respect the money and not go nuts once those large amounts start filling your bank account. And that's going to be a little bit difficult. I get that. I've been down that road. I'm still kind of on that path. But think about how in the past you lived on change, pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and somehow you managed, and somehow the money that you really needed showed up when you needed it. Know that that is not going to change. Okay, so you don't have to run out and buy this and buy that because, if I don't get it now and this money runs out, I will never have that. You will have it because, like I said, once it starts coming in, it's going to keep coming in. Trust. It will. And respect the finances. That's what's going to help you. But don't expect this to be an easy path, but it is the right path, which was your question. I hope this helps you, Free Spirit. Thank you again for helping others with this message and for supporting me. We'll see you again.